Hello and welcome back to Awakening to Your Story TV, the place to learn, get inspired, and be supported with heart-centered solutions for your everyday problems. I'm your host, author, emotional heart expert, and heart enthusiast, Alicia Hartzell. Now today we're going to talk about what to do when you feel resistance to what it is you know is good for you. Our question goes like this. Dear Alicia, I have gotten to a place where I can identify my limiting beliefs. I can now see how they're affecting me, and I can even discern where I need to do my work. But then I resist doing the work. I feel like I don't want to act on what I know would help me work through it. Then the shame cycles start because I'm not doing what I know I could be doing to help myself. How do I stop the shaming and the resistance so I can show up and do my heart's work? Signed, Seeking Honor and Flow. Let's look at the resistance and shame separately at first. Then we're going to tie them back together in the end. Now, resistance happens when two forces are working against each other. Now, you always have source energy of love moving through you like the current of a river. All of the cooperative components of that divine energy are always working on your behalf. This energy holds all of your essential truth that was divinely woven right through your humanity, through your divinity. Now, most of the typical resistance that you feel happens when you have thoughts of fear that go against that source energy of love that's fundamental to you. This is where you feel stress, anxiety, emotional and physical fatigue because you have to hold that energy and focus in resistance to that powerful energy of love. When you do emotional or heart work, the goal is to feel better because some sort of suffering caused you to want to find relief. And no matter what modality of healing you use, it's all designed with the goal of getting you to a place of feeling better, right? You look for those places of resistance so that you can shift or change your thinking around them. Now again, all modalities have different languages around this, but it is all about finding your way back into flow with that energy of source and your essential truth, and inevitably feeling better. Here's the hitch. It doesn't happen overnight because there's this thing called momentum. Those limiting beliefs that you talked about, there is both a pattern of thinking and momentum going behind them. That stuff that you know will help you, it's aligned with the flow of source energy. But the suffering that set this whole thing into motion is still active and holding your focus. Now, anything that holds your focus is actively building momentum. So there's a really good chance that the resistance to doing the work that you're feeling is because those limiting beliefs are still holding that focus and actively building momentum in the background. Now, shame is simply a byproduct of that focus on the suffering that set this whole thing into motion in the first place. Now, before we talk about shaming, I want to remind you that all of the different aspects and expressions of life develop and unfold like building blocks. Everything builds on itself like the creative process that it is. You set things into motion and then all of the components start to work together and you readjust and you readjust again and you readjust again until things start to take shape. Healing, returning to your truth, letting go of resistance, finding flow, feeling better. It's all a creation process. And there are phases, ebbs and flows, adjusting and readjusting. And then, before you know it, you find yourself feeling better and more aligned with your truth. Now, shame says you have to be there right now, and that was never how it was designed. Shame also says that you're not doing it right when there's no one right way to do it. Shame would have you to believe that you have to do X, Y, and Z, when X, Y, and Z might not be the logical next steps for you. Shame fortifies the momentum of fear and holds your focus on the limiting beliefs. But here's the thing, it's what people don't like to talk about. Shame is actually a tool. It's a powerful indicator that you still have momentum driving those limiting beliefs. That's it. Shame's an indicator. It's a feeling that was set into motion by a thought. Okay, so now that we have a little bit more information about resistance and about shame, let's give you some practical ideas on how to tone down that resistance and shame. Number one, take a breath. It's not about stopping it, right? It's about slowing it down. Remember, it's all a process. Give yourself a get out of jail free card and let the resistance ease up a little bit. Choose thoughts more like this instead. I am exactly where I need to be in the process of healing and creating. Or, my next logical step is simply breathing and watching my thoughts. Or, I I can do this because I was designed to do this. Number 2, use the shame as an indicator that your focus is on the suffering and not on the end goal of feeling better. In your case, it's about not doing what you should be doing to help yourself. So choose thoughts like this instead. Thank you, shame, for showing me that my focus is off. What about, I can readjust my focus on things that feel better. It's like giving yourself permission. Okay, what about, it only takes one thought at a time to shift my focus. Those feel pretty good, right? Just start simple. Okay, number 3, reach for a thought that feels better than the one that you're currently thinking. Now remember, you are trying to slow down the momentum, and you do that one thought at a time. So choose one thought like this instead. This is actually my heart's work. Or what about this? I am doing it right now. Just one thought, choosing this thought to feel better, that's my work. Or I'm doing it. I'm really doing it. Or what about, I can, I will, I am going to have all the things that I desire. Or I can keep moving forward at any given moment. Okay, because you indicated that you're resistant to the work, you can just start with that. But for anyone else who wants to take it a little deeper, number 4 is going to drive in the focus and momentum. Okay, 4, direct your attention to the end goal. I recommend writing it down, making lists of things that feel good to you. I would do it every day because it really helps you readjust your focus and build up that momentum to feeling better. Now, it can be a different topic each day, or you can focus on whatever it is you're working on, right? Choose thoughts like this to get you started. I have the ability to feel good no matter the conditions around me. It feels good when, you fill in the blank. It tickles my soul when. Make a list of 5 things that bring you joy, and then bring each of those 5 things to life. Really write about how it feels. I absolutely love when, you fill in the blank. You get the picture. Now remember, it all boils down to what you're thinking and feeling. So it's valuable to build up that momentum and focus in as many ways as you can towards those feelings of feeling better. Okay, until next time, know that I am holding a place of love for you where all of that resistance falls away, and that flow with divine source energy of love, well, it's undeniable. For more support, information, and inspiration, join me at awakeningtoyourstory.com.